Councilman, and joining us tonight from Ward 5 is Councilman Keith Schildroth. Keith, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We've had an interesting week here in Florissant and the kind of the North County, St. Louis area, but it's a pleasure to have had the meeting here tonight and to really not see any issue or recourse that's really happened in the city.
No, it was a pretty non-eventful meeting. The agenda was very short, and there was one public hearing, but there was not a lot of business to be conducted tonight at our meeting, and might be a little bit different at our meeting a week from tonight on December 8th, but tonight it was pretty short and to the point.
Well, we had a public hearing tonight for another CVS pharmacy coming to the city.
Yeah, that's you know, the development continues to happen and progress at a pretty good rate in the city of Florissant, and I'm very happy about that. CVS Pharmacy will put their second store on Lindbergh in Florissant Meadow Shopping Center, right where the old Culpepper's location was. It was vacant for several years. And they're going to take that spot and a little bit more of that spot, and they're going to have a pharmacy and a clinic, and they're planning to be in operation 24 hours once they get established. And we're hoping that the pharmacy stays open 24 hours, because right now we don't have a 24-hour pharmacy in the city limits. But it's a good location right there. It's a busy thoroughfare, and I'm looking forward to it. It kind of bumps up to my ward in Ward 5. It's in, you know, really close to where I live and on a really big, busy thoroughfare in Florissant. So I think a lot of folks from North County are going to take advantage of it, including the folks from Hazelwood. They'll come right down Lindbergh and use it. So I think it's a great addition to our city.
Like you said, the building has been vacant there for years, so it's going to be nice to see a kind of a bright spot come to that shopping center.
Yeah, that shopping center continues to thrive with Here Today, and you know that
AutoZone taking over the Firestone,
right.
And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good. There's a lot of good things going on in that shopping center. Jimmy's, Walgreens, Cannolis. There's a lot of good things going on there. So we continue to prosper in the city of Florissant.
Did the other CVS not do a 24-hour store?
No, they're not 24. No, they're not as of yet. I'm hoping to maybe get that changed down the road. Good
deal. Well, that was the only public hearing tonight. We had several second readings. So these we heard about in the meeting several weeks ago. First one is a special use permit to JX Restaurants. They're doing business as Lulu Chinese Express. So it's the operation of a sit-down, carry-out Chinese restaurant at 8461 North Lindbergh.
Right, that'll be across the street from the CVS and down the road a little. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm really anxious and kind of curious about this restaurant. They have a couple located inside Dearborg stores in West County, and that's a pretty big venture. And for the Dearborg family to have them inside their stores doing business, I think is a pretty good testimony. So I'm really interested. I know they've had a standalone business in University City on Delmar for many years. So I'm really interested, and I can't wait for those folks to get open. It's going to be really good for our city.
There's a special use permit to Ave Kamini for the Jimmy John's to allow for the operation of a sit-down and carry-out restaurant. So this one is an interesting one to talk about, just because it's the painted brick issue. We've seen it kind of come up.
Right. Sometimes
the city of Florissant turns a company down when they request to paint their building to kind of give it a fresh look. But in this case, it passed. It wasn't unanimous. There was one no vote there, but it did pass. Can you speak for the council a little bit on why they've decided to go with this?
The council has the power to do things like this. In this situation, the brick is actually going to be stained and treated as opposed to painted. So, you know, the staining process kind of set home with, you know, related to me really well. So I didn't have a problem with the staining process. The petitioner tried with the parent company to do many different things to avoid the staining process, and that's just their corporate look, their corporate flavor per se. So he did go above and beyond to try to
find an alternative.
Correct, he sure did. And I commend him for that. I'm glad he's coming to Florissant. You know, when you talk to people, you know, I talk to people a lot, either at the grocery store or getting gas or at a restaurant, and they always ask you certain things. When are we getting this? When are we getting that?
Yeah.
And, you know, Jimmy John's was right up there on the list. And, you know, this gentleman has a couple other stores. I got a sandwich for my wife at his store in Hazelwood a couple weeks ago. He was actually behind the line, and I went through the drive-thru, and he was behind the line, and I talked to him. We had a nice talk, and, you know, I'm glad he's coming to our city, and, you know, I think it's just another addition to our city that shows that we're constantly looking for things for our residents, for places to dine, and you know, we have a lot of good things going in our city, and this is just an example that this gentleman wants to invest in our city, and I thought the staining process was not a big deal, so that's why I voted for it.
Okay. Another item for second reading was an ordinance providing a boundary adjustment between St. Louis County and the city of Florissant. That passed tonight without an issue. Then there was an ordinance repealing an ordinance and authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into a contract with the law firm Lewis, Rice, and Fingers to be represented by John M. Hessel for legal services. That's just really simple, a continuation of his contract
Correct.
for another year.
It sure is. Pretty straightforward.
No board appointments tonight. We had a couple of first readings. One was an ordinance amending the floodplain management ordinance, and another one we can talk a little bit about. This is an agreement for a federal funding project known as the St. Anthony Lane Bridge Project. Tell me what they're planning on doing with this bridge.
Well, this particular bridge on St. Anthony off South Florissant Road, New Florissant Road, is in Miss Pagano's ward. It sits just outside of Ward 5. And it's a pretty well-traveled thoroughfare. It's, according to Mr. Barrett, it's the bridge that's in the worst condition of all our bridges in the city, and it's due to be replaced. Mr. Barrett and the administration are going to apply for an agreement with the federal government to replace that bridge, and bids will be forthcoming from different contractors who want to use that. You know, it's a two-lane bridge. It sits right behind Gabby's and Chris's barbershop right there.
Yep.
And, you know, a lot of people travel on that bridge, and it needs to be done. And, you know, it got 3 readings tonight, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling pretty quick here.
So the next piece in that project is the bids to come in.
Right, and it's safe right now to be on. I don't want to alarm anybody, but, you know, it does need to be replaced. So I think it's it's a project that the mayor's had an interest in for quite some time with his engineering background, and we need to do this to keep moving forward.
Okay. I think recently you held an award meeting.
I did.
How did that go?
It was great. I co-hosted it with Mrs. Pagano. We had it at City Hall. We had close to 200 people here.
Excellent.
We had the chief here and members of his command staff and the mayor. And Mr. Barrett was here also, and the Parks Director, Todd Schmidt, were here. And we took questions from the audience, and we also took questions on cards, and we answered every question. The chief, pretty predictably, had most of the questions, and they concerned different items about safety in our city with what's been going on around us in Ferguson. And the chief was great, fantastic, answering every question. And Mr. Schmidt had some questions, and the mayor took some questions, Ms. Pagano and I did. It ranged from getting an extra dumpster for recycling to how do I get a street light, and what does a street light cost the city to get, things of that nature. So we had the gamut. You know, it was really, really well attended, and I'd like to thank everybody who showed up.
Do you like to do those annually?
I try to do one every year, and I also, the mayor started this year a town hall meeting format with where we split the city into 2 halves. So we did that this first year, and I like that also. That was good. So, you know, award meeting a year and that that town hall meeting setting with different wards is pretty good also. They work great.
Well, with council announcements tonight, there was a number of thank yous to the chief and to the Florissant Police Department for the safety they've provided the city of Florissant here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would, my announcement basically was that, the chief and his entire command staff and the entire Florissant Police Department, they did a fantastic job over the past several days, and I commend them for their dedication, their professionalism, and their hard work surrounding the grand jury announcement in the Michael Brown case. And we have a great police department, and our residents are well protected and will continue to be well protected for many years to come.
Well, we know it was a hard time on the police officers who had to spend a number of hours and doing long shifts, multiple days in a row, probably some of them working more than 80 hours that last week. But in talking with one of the officers tonight, it really sounded like the city of Florissant was relatively trouble-free. That it never kind of came into the boundaries of the city, and that's really thanks to the setup and organization of the police department here.
Yeah, Chief Lowry and his command staff, right away when the announcement came down, went to two men in a car and 12-hour shifts, and they had a lot of visibility in the city, and then the residents saw that, and I think that added to the deterrent of any kind of problems that we might have had.
Yeah, big thank you to them.
Yes, sir.
Well, Keith, anything else you'd like to add for the public watching here today?
Well, the development in the city continues to go. We have culverts going in on Lindbergh, Jimmy John's, and other CVS. The administration is always striving to get more businesses in here for our city and for our region. And people come from all over, from close by in Hazelwood to our city, and from other parts of North County to go to a place like Culver's or Jimmy John's or the CVS. And we continue to be the anchor and the hub in North County, and I really enjoy being a part of it.
It's good to see the real estate filled.
Yeah, we had a great program last year of our first-time homeowner program, and a lot of folks took advantage of that, where they got a $6,000 forgivable loan. So it went really well. I think we filled 82 homes, I think.
Terrific.
So it was a great addition to our city. In my ward alone, I know of several young people who are moving into the city, and I'm really happy about that.
Well, Keith, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. And thank you for watching. I'm Russell Inman. This has been Council Action. We'll see you next time.